Yes, we can start.
Not yet. Hi, I'm Dave Auda, and I'm going to be your host for this webinar series from the Reliability and Risk Division, the future of cross-mixed reality, business, innovation strategies, and use cases. We need to make a change here. I'm having a little bit of a okay, very good.
Yep.
Okay, before we get started, I'd like to share a couple of slides with our audience to show that we've got a couple of sessions that are coming up in the future. April 11th, we got What is Reality by Terence O'Hanlon. And then Thursday, May 9th, we've got Understanding Risk to Improve Management Systems by Fatima Tuzora. We also have a conference coming up. It's the 50th anniversary of the Reliability and Risk Division, so we'd like you to take note of that. You can follow us at asqrd.org, get all the details there. It's going to be in San Antonio, Texas. Great place to visit, October 15th through 17th, with some courses running pre and post. We're also looking for volunteers with the ASQ Reliability Division. If you're interested in being a volunteer at any level and in any capacity, you can send a note to chair@asqrd.org, or you can put something in the chat window. I'll help to align you with our resources so that you can find a way to make a contribution. This is a recorded webinar session, so if you give us a couple weeks, we'll have the audio and the recording up on asqrd.org site. But give us a little bit of time to be able to accomplish that. I'd like to thank our friends at ReliSoft and Reliance Corporation for their generous contributions in making this a free global webinar series. Today, our presenters are going to be Philip Olna and Dennis Potapenko, and I'm going to turn the presentation over to them. It's going to just take a step. You'll also notice that on your control panel, there are the handouts on the Handouts tab, and there are some links of interest there also. There's 16 links to videos that presenters will talk to you about. So I need to just make a couple of changes here. So you should see a token that makes you a organizer.
Yeah, I will show the screen. Not this one, but this one. Yep. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see our screen. Yes, David, can you see it?
Let me, yes, I can see your screen.
Yes.
That's good.
So we can start. My name is Dennis Potapenko.
And my name is Philip Molnar.
Today we will talk about reality alternate technologies and how the business can benefit from it. We'll build our webinar into several parts. Well, first of all, we will talk about XR definition, market size, and leaders. Of course, we will share our knowledge about the technology stack, devices, and the best solutions in this area. Quite interesting part will be devoted to XR use cases and how small businesses and startups can benefit from XR. And of course, we will talk about how to validate a good XR development company. So first of all, we want to make a small poll to figure out who is with us. So we'll have a few questions for you, for our audience. David, could we please run the first poll? Dennis. Yeah. So, David.
All right, let's just skip it and let's go.
Yes, okay, we will skip this poll. Let me start by naming the real existing reality alternate technologies. Well, this term refers to all technologies that extend, change, or replace our physical reality in one way or another. And that's exactly what virtual reality and augmented reality and mixed reality do. Let's talk about definition of VR, that is virtual reality, AR, that is augmented reality, and MR technologies, that are mixed reality technologies. During our webinar, we want to show you some videos David will put this and present these links for you. Also, these links will be available for you after the webinar ends. So first of all, let's talk about definition of VR, AR, and MR. First of all, virtual reality is the experience that provides you an ability to see an artificial computer-generated content on top of the physical world. Visually, this term means that you're not able to see the real physical world. Virtual reality completely shuts out the real world, so the user acts within the absolutely virtual environment. Usually, this technology has two different approaches. I would say it is wireless headsets and the standalone headsets and devices that are connected to a PC. Well, let's start the first video that's showing this ability in VR. David, please show the first video. David, could you please show the first video? In any case, we will just put the link to this video in a chat. Yeah, you can try it right now. So you can take a look to this example and make sense of what we are talking about. Well, as far as you can see, the real world absolutely replaced this real one. And the organizers of this event used a very interesting approach. They combined the physical feeling of people being in this event with a similar one and with a real one. You can feel that you are moving by bridge like a real one, and you can touch the rope. And of course, you can listen a lot of sound that actually seems very real for you and for mine. This makes virtual reality immersive and gives you a feeling of to be really in this place. Yes, let's take a look on this video. We can see that the video is shared. The environment is absolutely could be a fantasy one. It could have some real places to go. It could have some connection with a real world, as I said. And on this video, guys are moving on a bridge, and they can walk around it. Of course, they are very safe in real world, but in a virtual one, they have some scenario to move on. There are some signs. There is a large scenario on how it works. And of course, they have some defense for their visitors, for their clients. They're even moving and touching the windows. They're even touching the other walls. Okay. Okay, as I said, you're feeling yourself like in a virtual world. It could be a fantasy one, or it could be a real place somewhere on the planet. From other side, augmented reality content is interactive experience that gives you an ability to see the virtual content on top of the physical world. On top of the physical world. This means that simultaneously you can see the combination of real and computer-generated data. There are several ways of displaying augmented reality data. First of all, for example, you can wear a headset to use a mobile phone. Seems absolutely different, but we will talk about this later. Let's check some examples. Let's run the second video. It is quite short, 1 minute video, but it gives you an ability and understanding on what we're actually meaning. What kind of experience you can expect using augmented reality on mobile phone. As far as you can see, the mobile phone represents a window to augmented reality world. This is how this technology works on mobile phones. As far as you can see, this rabbit can even cast a shadow on real objects. But now let's talk about mixed reality. Mixed reality is almost the same as AR, with the only difference is that you can track and interact with digital objects and environments. For example, you can put a virtual apple on a real table. Moreover, if you wish to hit the virtual ball in the real room, you definitely can do it. And the ball will hit the walls, reflecting from it using virtual physical laws, let's say. Let's run the short video to see what I'm talking about. David, could you please run the short video? I will show the link to the short video to chat in, so you have an ability to run it smoothly. Yeah. After the webinar, I'm of course suggesting you to see all this video and all these links, so you will have a feeling of overall information about what is it. Okay. For what is it is XR technology. XR means extended reality. It is a collective term for all the technologies like VR, AR, and MR. This is definitely the basic information about these technologies. Well, later we will check their particular qualities.
So now let's have a look at the market size of the augmented and virtual reality. And as you can see, this huge number which pops up, and it means that by 2022, the augmented and virtual reality market is going to reach $209.2 billion. It is according to Statista, the website about research and statistics in different industries. And
yes, we will show our screen again. I'm sorry. Yeah. Not this one. Yes, yes. Please continue.
So what does this huge number mean? It means that many companies are going to invest into this technology because the investment started in 2016 and they have been growing up until 2018, and they were growing pretty slowly, but in by 2022 it's gonna hit the really huge number. Yeah. It's because it means that there will be new ways of thinking, and like for now, any application is already contributing to the market development. And because everybody is in, a trial and error mode, so everybody is trying to test and see what works. So the companies are testing ideas. That was about the market size and the expectations. But what about the shipments? What is dominating in what headset is dominating? So in 2018, the AR headset shipment number was significantly lower, and as you can see, it had only 0.8 million of all the headset shipments, while VR headsets had $8.1 million. And what does it tell us? It tells us that the augmented reality market was not that popular because people were more focused on the entertainment and the B2C market compared to the B2B, which is AR. So as you can see, the same as with the popularity of the technology, the headset shipment is going to reach pretty high numbers by 2022. And let's look at the industries that are most developed. According to Perkin Coie LLP survey report, the industries where AR and VR technologies have the most influence today are those the gaming, healthcare, retail, automotive, manufacturing, marketing, and agriculture. As you can see, the agriculture was not included in the previous reports. However, That is what we are currently seeing, and as a company who does development services in the AR, VR industry, we can see that actually agriculture is very popular today, as well as the automotive and manufacturing industries. They are mostly focused on the augmented reality because augmented reality devices allow you to do the common things that you would have not done without this technology. So we will talk more about the headsets, and you will have a look at what they are and what they can do and how they can help you optimize your work. So now we're going to look at the leader metrics. And so, as you might have guessed, the market leaders are the big guys: Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Magic Leap, and also others. And what they do, they provide different services on different segments. For example, Apple is focused on the B2B market, while Google and Facebook are mostly focused on the B2C market, so they focus mostly on the entertainment side. And who are the top-notch developers? Oh, hello there, this is us, and we are on the second place. Why would you care about the AR and VR market? And we're gonna look at the biggest AR and VR bets. And like I already mentioned, Facebook is mostly focused on the entertainment side, and we can see that it's getting really popular because in 2014 Facebook bought Oculus VR, and in 2009 on TechCrunch, the news appeared about Facebook acquiring Unity, which is one of the leading game development engines. Why Mark Zuckerberg made such a drastic move? Well, he said that they are vulnerable on mobile to Google and Apple because they are major mobile platforms. What does it mean? It means that those big guys, Apple and Google, they have the augmented reality built-in platforms, which are ARKit for Apple and ARCore for Google. And with trying to acquire Unity, Facebook wanted to strengthen their positions in the market, and so to have the ability to build something similar to those platforms. Well, obviously, Facebook needed Unity to support their Oculus VR technology and get unlimited access to Unity's innovative power and development platform. And what we can learn from the Zuckerberg vision is that VR, AR will be the next major computing platform after mobile in about 10 years, as it's more natural than mobile since it uses our normal human and gestural systems. What about Apple? Apple is actively betting big on augmented reality, and they develop different MVPs and prototypes for like a variety of industries. I'm not sure if they have anything like ready-made solutions, but I think it's going to improve, and they're going to have more solutions for a variety of industries. And unlike Apple, Google mostly focuses on the entertainment AR. And as you might have seen already in the news, or maybe you've used your phone, like several weeks ago, Google has improved their Google Maps navigation, enabling the AR mode in Google Maps. So now when you are going somewhere outside and using your phone to navigate the streets, you can actually follow the map in the AR mode, which is pretty cool. So like I said, we're going to talk more about hardware and the devices, and so Denise will explain more about it.
Yes, let's talk about devices used to experience XR, all these amazing technologies. First of all, let's talk about AR devices. Nowadays, a superior number of devices used to experience augmented reality content is definitely mobile devices. This means that majority of users that have mobile devices have an ability to check possibilities of augmented reality. To experience this, you need just a mobile phone with a camera and related hardware, of course. For some period of time, developers of augmented reality solutions and applications have used the hardware that was excited on the market for those times. But at a certain point, hardware manufacturers understood that market of augmented reality application is growing a lot. And of course, users will choose those mobile phones that supports augmented reality the best. Moreover, at some point, manufacturers of mobile devices increased the interest of their operation systems by preparing a special layer of augmented reality tools. It is Air Core and Kit, of course. We will talk about them later during this webinar. I should say that even taking into account that today term augmented reality is strongly connected with mobile phones, there are a large set of head-mounted devices that can provide you an augmented reality experience. For example, it is Epson Bavaria BT350 or the second, and Vuzix Blade. These are special glasses, you know, and they are not so big, I would say, like Microsoft HoloLens or other huge headsets that you have seen. They are quite comfortable and suitable, but they are also support augmented reality content. But you know, these devices show slightly different experience of augmented reality. I would say that they do not support all features listed in model pool of availabilities of augmented reality frameworks. Usually, these devices just show you a computer-generated content on top of the physical world. I know this means that it is augmented reality, but connection of these devices with a real world and a physical one a bit lost. Yes, this is absolutely true. We will talk about where these devices are used and on what markets they're used and how they're used. But let's switch to virtual reality devices. First of all, let's split somehow these devices into major groups. Head-mounted devices that are connected to PC using wires and wireless head-mounted devices. To the list of wired devices, we can refer Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, HTC Vive Pro, Lenovo Exporter, and a lot of others like a Samsung Odyssey and of course Pimax. It is absolutely incredible devices, but we'll talk about their characteristics a bit later. And wireless devices, Oculus Go, HTC Vive Cosmos, Samsung Gear VR, and Google Cardboard, and a lot of similar devices for extending your cardboard or extending your plastic cardboards with any kind of mobile phones. Well, we will talk about three of them, the most interesting series. First of all, it is Samsung Gear VR and is designed to work with Samsung flagship smartphones. Some of major goals of Samsung sets for the project regarding hardware were that this headset could support motion to photon latency, as they said, up to 20 milliseconds. And of course, there was a special optimization of hardware and the kernel. So these devices are really quite exciting. The device is not tethered to a computer. It is Oculus Go. It does not require a gaming system to work. First of all, the second point, it does not require to use an external mobile phone or external computer to display graphics. You can just wear this device, use device without any kind of additional hardware and connections and wires. I should say that this hardware is outfitted with 5.5 inches of Quad HD resolution display with high-quality panel lenses used in Oculus Rift. Well, the third device, we will talk about it, it's Daydream. It is a virtual reality platform developed by Google that is built into Android mobile operation system. From today, and actually it supports Android version named Nougat or Android version number 7.1. Compatible phones that allows you to perform the virtual reality content on this device. The devices I have named, they support a quite large degrees field of view. This from 90 degrees to up to 101. But there is one more device that supports absolutely amazing field of view, it is Pimax. It supports 200 degrees field of view. The interesting thing here, it is, since you are closing the entire physical reality with a new reality, with just maybe some a new one, like a fairy tale or a new environment, you should fit yourself like being in another place. And the field of view in these devices is crucial. The prices of these devices is varies a lot, and the first one starts maybe from $100. So they're not so expensive, I would say. And let's talk finally about mixed reality devices. The most powerful devices for today are Microsoft HoloLens, Magic Leap, and Microsoft HoloLens, the second version. The first headset, Microsoft HoloLens, has been named by Frost as the future of computing. It ensures a far more interactive experience than augmented reality and has a few features that allow us to be ahead of virtual reality as well. I'm of course talking about gesture recognition and voice control. At the front part of HoloLens, there is transparent combiner lenses with a variety of sensors and two cameras near each eye to receive and recognize gestures and voice commands. The processor is also unique. Built-in holographic processor unit transforms this information into holograms and actions on the screen. The left and right sides contains an audio system, WAN system, and other related hardware. It was to mention that XR devices differs from other headsets by the ability to share a given reality with other XR users. But today, ARKit supports a very interesting feature named AR World Map. It is something like shared spaces for several devices. Please imagine that users can share augmented and of course real environment with other participants. So for the cases where many clients are being learned by some scenario in XR, they can share the same reality. And what is more important, they can track each other's actions in real time. It is also extremely useful in simulations where students can be led by external instructor. Another amazing feature of all XR devices is that these small devices can scan and recognize the environment around the beholder and cover it with a kind of mesh that actually mirrors real surface. Let's talk about the devices. What the best of them for what purposes? Well, again, we would split these devices into several groups. Wired, wireless, and XR devices and headsets. Should we switch?
No.
For wireless devices, I would say that we will talk about B2C and partly B2B businesses. So it's industries like gaming, training, simulation, and communication. So stepping back, I should say that most of devices, the appliance of devices in these industries is of course related to their prices and availability on the market. Of course, branding and marketing staff doing their good job. So for devices that are wired like HTC Vive, they are mostly related to gaming and training scenarios. For wireless sets like Oculus Go, they are mostly related to gaming and entertainment media communications. Well, definitely you can feel that a lot of users have their own mobile phones, and most of them, I think, supports virtual reality and the XR technologies as well. For the XR devices, we will talk about Microsoft HoloLens, Magic Leap, and other interesting devices. I definitely would say that these devices are related to B2B market. The price of them starts from for Microsoft HoloLens start from $3,000 for a developer's version and $5,000 for a final version. The Microsoft HoloLens 2 costs about $3,000 and a half. And these devices definitely used to be applied in the industries like manufacturers, automotive, agriculture, and etc. The thing is, of course, the price of these devices is quite high, but magically it tries to create something interesting for B2C market, and they try to spread their availability on the B2C market, just decreasing the cost, of course, and the second point, a lot of applications for B2C market. Well, let's switch to technology stack that is used in these realities, let's say. I should say this is pretty simple. Uh, well, there are two main manufacturers like Google and Apple, of course, and they are supposed very familiar kits and frameworks. It is AirKit and AirCore. So, of course, they're separate from Apple developers and Google developers. For a lot of time, for a lot of time, for a lot of duration of the development part, that was used a lot of frameworks, different frameworks for technologies. But nowadays, the Vuforia is some kind of standard for augmented reality software. What about engines? So for the engines today, the popular and the most exciting one are Unity and Unreal Engine R. So let's talk about some use cases.
All right, so let's kick this off with the risk in the energy sector. Well, as you know, energy sector is a tough place to work at. However, it's one of the most important sectors which helps humans to take selfies, play computer games, and run annoying retargeting ads by producing the energy needed for the all whims satisfaction. In the energy sector, the mortality rate as well as the injury rate are high, and some of the most common types of injuries are graze or laceration, bruising, sprains, strains, and fractures, burn, and electric shocks. Well, that's not very exciting, isn't it? And business owners are not excited too. The violation of safety procedures leads to insurance compensations and unanticipated accident payrolls, which cost US employers $1 billion per week, while some 6-day workplace downtime costs around $60 billion, according to the information provided at Occupational Safety and Health Administration and Granger. In 7 years, the injury frequency rate has decreased by 50% thanks to the growing safety and health awareness in the energy industry, as well as the technological advances in this sector. Well, energy and utilities are considered to be one of the top 3 markets of augmented reality glasses shipments and account for 17% of global AR and MR glasses shipments. AR and MR devices such as smartphone cameras or standalone glasses are used for different purposes. For example, teamwork and communication. Well, for example, using Microsoft HoloLens, a trainee can call a senior engineer via Skype. As you can see in the picture, this guy in a strange helmet, you can actually use this helmet to call a senior engineer via Skype and get a real-time consultation to solve a work-related problem. The engineer can see exactly what the trainee can see, as you can see in the other picture, but it's more of a simulation. But anyway, the trainee can see exactly what the engineer can see, and it allows them to deal with the problem effectively. So they can take and exchange screenshots in real time and mark whatever needs to be fixed. Another use case is simulation and training. Sometimes workers don't have time to train because there is a lack of equipment, lack of experience, and it leads to injuries and work downtimes. Well, however, with VR and AR visualizations and interactive 3D courses, you can train your workers faster and more efficiently because you can pre-build different applications, and without using any real equipment, you can train them in the virtual 3D world. So what about the retail industry? In the retail industry, AR is quite raw. However, some big companies and startups are already leveraging AR technologies to improve user experience. For example, this is a pretty standard application. Like IKEA has built an app which allows you to furnish your house using your mobile phone only, and you can select different furniture and visualize it to have a feel and taste of a desired furniture and see how it fits in your room. As you can see in the screenshot, by 2020, IKEA expects to generate around $6 billion from their app, and in 2016, they already generated $1.6 billion. Also, one of the ways to advertise your brand is to create AR stickers, which can render a product by pointing a smartphone camera at the sticker, like a company called STM Goods did. It can be done using pattern recognition or custom Aruka market reading. Those stickers are pre-built and programmed into the app, so it can recognize them and display a certain product. So about the healthcare, Denis will speak more.
Yes, for the healthcare industry, we will mostly talk about VR experience. XR technology in this industry most aim for rehabilitation processes. For experience, every experience provides you an ability to play some very simple game. In this game, you are implementing a very simple mechanics and achieve certain points. Well, let's take a look on the next video. David, video number 6, please, and I will send this link to a chat. So in this video, let's run it. In this video, you can see examples of using VR technology for rehabilitation aims. The graphics actually doesn't really matter. You just can see yourself in some fantasy world and playing around with different objects. On the next video, video number 7, you can see in this experience that only you can do just working and getting some points. But the thing is that your movements, actually movements of your legs, are synchronized with real virtual reality experience. You again feel yourself being in another fantasy world, but trainees definitely have a motivation to pass all these scenarios. The set of using this technology for rehabilitation purposes is quite wide. And of course, in some point of rehabilitation process, you need a medical assistant who can lead your actions. Moreover, the used hardware actually is not so cheap. But the good news, the virtual reality headsets and equipment go cheaper. This opens an abilities to use a virtual reality headset in your home and make your living room part of training center. Moreover, manufacturers of these devices prepared a special play markets where you can easily go and download applications to your headsets, and this gives a huge step forward for training purposes. So for today, virtual reality in rehabilitation allows patients with different disorders to execute actions that they cannot perform in real life due to their disabilities. Gives an opportunity to use more advanced digital rehabilitation methods as an alternative to therapy, thus maximizing the effect of rehabilitation measures. It can be used in individualized treatment plans developed on the basis of careful assessment and following case-by-case treatment goals. It helps analyze and better understand the needs of people with disabilities in public places and home. So today we are used to help with neurological damages, restoration of hand motor functions, restoring posture and balance, and post-trauma rehabilitations. We will switch to logistics in AR. There is a large set of applications related to logistics. Most logistics applications implemented in augmented reality. Please imagine that today you will have an equipment that provides you a real-time access to information about warehousing process and operations. You will have an immediate access to the information you need right now and on the exact place. If you need to find a road, augmented reality shows you the best road and how to find the product. Moreover, in the same time, it gives you information about timing. In what exact time this product should be on what place, and all required properties of this product: weight, contents, owners, etc. And the second scenario is about training warehouse staff. It gives an amazing opportunity for new staff to increase their KPIs, let's say, in warehouses. And please think about numbers. Warehouse augmented reality training applications can save up to 20% of their logistic cost because of accidents and accidents. That actually saves not only cost, but a real human life, as Philip said. And of course, this increases speed of work of every new employee. These absolutely amazing results. But please also think about how many paperwork would be replaced with the digital approaches. Every action that is performed by a trainee in a warehouse could be tracked and saved to a database. This gives a huge balance of data for managers and give them an ability to understand gaps and real problems in existing pipelines. On some videos I will show you later, in hand mounted displays we talked about at the start of the speech. It shows the scenarios for finding road, image recognitions, and other recognition options for QR codes and barcodes. Location-based augmented reality safety scenarios, remote assistant, and completeness checks, and etc. Yes, so let's switch to automotive finally. Yep. For automotive industry, we will talk mostly about augmented reality. I will post a few links to a chat, so you'll have an ability to check these videos and understand what about the scenarios could be. You just point in your mobile phone to the car, and you can see that augmented reality information helps you to understand how to perform very simple actions for it. For example, it could show you information how to change the oil in your device or in your vehicle. You just open the hood, and on the screen of your mobile device or your mobile phone, you can see what kind of tools should be used for it, what kind of things you can see, and what kind of process looks like. And everything this you can see with exact your car and exactly in your place. Of course, it shows the name of the vehicle items and elements. And the scenario is to show the list of the interesting features of the car. You can see from different angles how new and exciting capabilities of your future car will look like, how it is working, and what kind of things it impacts. Well, it is absolutely amazing things for a salesperson and for other person who are showing these examples. I will show you some video scenarios. On these scenarios, on this video, you can see like augmented reality technology work pretty interesting absolutely in any place. And of course, a large exhibitions and presentations, it could engage additional users or clients. The audience of this application is quite large. And one more link that provides you a feeling about augmented reality in the automotive. As I said, it's something about to see the real object using a top-notch technologies. Visuals definitely makes difference. And today, for some purposes, there is no need to create the real equipment to how it actually works. You can use XR approach in any place you are. This sounds absolutely fantastic. And what about extended driving tools that could make you set your driving to the next level? Please check one of the links I will post you in a chat. This video number 13. Augmented reality technology is a tool, a new tool for car manufacturers that can bring a new and interesting possibilities to the car drivers. First of all, of course, it is a new level of navigation and visualization of road data, speed limitations, help on crossroad, accident hazards, and etc. Also, it helps a visualization on what exactly we can see the car computer and how processing the information. It makes a huge impact on trust in computer that on the road. Let's switch to tourism and navigation. Yeah.
Well, speaking about tourism, like I said already, recently Google introduced advanced features to their Google Maps, empowering the application with augmented reality Street View mode, combine it with personal navigational recommendations. And how it can be used? Well, it can be used for a variety of purposes, like some travel agencies can adopt this feature, as well as brokers who do route planning and a lot of moving around across the city. It can be really helpful if there will be some good developers who can take it to the next level. And of course, in tourism industry and with the power of AR, the various QR and RUCO codes that come into play. For example, you can see a prototype of a Pisa Tower in a brochure or journal. And well, can you imagine you are just sitting down on the couch and you are just looking at some journal, and you can actually see with your phone, you can hover it over the QR code and see some 3D model pop-up, and it can really greatly enhance travel agency services by providing a unique experience to their clients. So I hope you've got the extensive understanding of some use cases, but how about small businesses and startups? Can they actually benefit from utilizing XR? Uh, well, from already mentioned use cases, you can see how big corporations are using these technologies. However, how you can actually use it to improve your services, or maybe you want to become a developer who is looking for ideas and where you can enter new markets. So if you focus on developing things for others, that's pretty easy to do. You have to find the pain and then provide the solution. Usually where it's lacking visualization, for example, like at the manufacturing or engineering sector, I mean energy sector, where you have to use your hands and also talk to your workers. So what can you use? You can try to create a virtual environment generator like stage, office, landscape, ship, or something like that. It can be really helpful. You can scale it pretty quickly. It's more of a product-focused approach, or you can build a VR, AR configurator, like, for example, you know what WordPress is, or maybe like OutSystems, which is a low-code app platform. You can do something like that for AR and VR, and it's going to be complex, but it might work. Yeah. Also, you can try developing VR and AR frameworks, or you can try to go with a niche and try developing AR mapping for real estate or maybe construction planning. It can greatly be used by a variety of companies. Also, well, if you try to develop for yourself, well, then you may want to understand where you actually want to use those technologies. But you can greatly enhance your business operations if you really identify your problem and then find the right company to develop it. So you can improve your safety, creating training and simulations for your workers, like emergency fire escape or something like that. You can improve communication at the workplace, like you have already seen, and you can utilize it as a remote assistant. For example, if your engineer is, let's say, in Ukraine and you're in US, and he can really help you by calling via Skype, and it can be useful as well. Well, you can train employees and students, like I already said, emergency situations or engineering operations. You can also enhance driver behavior and vehicle operations. You can increase the driver confidence and road safety and maintenance, because you can use the same simulations and training for repairment at the current place if the car has broken and you don't have money or any other assets to call somebody. You can just use your phone and go through this simple simulation or training, which will help you to fix your car at the spot without actually trying to call an engineer. Well, you can improve the navigation and route planning for traveling and real estate or commercial real estate businesses. And well, how do you choose a good VR and AR development company? Well, you have to look at those 4 basic things, which are portfolio, customer satisfaction and reviews. Also, you might as well take a look at the internal processes and communication, and website, and as well as prices. But about prices, Denise will talk more.
Yes, so for the prices, it sounds very complicated, but again, we can divide the groups of the involvement of these prices. So first of all, we will talk about the ready-to-use solutions. Well, I would say that functionality of these solutions is quite limited, and you can use the things that are in the box. There are no possibility to extend the functionality very easily, but there are some solutions that can help you in this way. I'm talking about Vuforia Choke, for example, NVIDIA Holodeck, quite interesting and extensive tool. And of course, Microsoft HoloLens plus Microsoft Teams plus Microsoft Dynamics. So what about the pricing of these solutions? Well, the price actually is subscription, or the most of these solutions are quite free. We will not name the price in the subscription today because it could change just after my speech. Well, we can check the some before I show examples. I will post them in the chat again. This is the video number 15. And one of the solutions that are presented by Microsoft, it is Microsoft HoloLens Remote Assistant. These solutions could be used out of the box, and these solutions could help your business a lot. So what about customizable solutions? First of all, again, we will use the services that provided the company to create some customizable solutions. I would name this solution like Amazon Scenario, Zepworks, Deror, Apay, and Augment. For the rest of three of them, I will just to provide you links of the site if it is required after the webinar, so you can understand what kind of services they are providing. The scenario is the next. You just can download this editor, or you can go to their website and set up any kind of equipment you want, any kind of environment you want, with a list of predefined assets, or some of them provide you an ability to download your own assets and work with it. You can change the color, you can change the shape, definitely. You can provide the list of scenarios you want to perform, and etc. These are quite extended things, and the price again goes for a subscription. The subscription depends on the amount of users that are using this application and solutions. It depends on the platforms, and it depends on the bandwidth used by your application. And the final one, the fully custom applications. Well, they should be split again in three parts. Well, let's talk about the very simple one. It's simple augmented reality experience, when you have an ability just to see any kind of animation of a character or any kind of equipment. And this actually cost less than 10K. We will in these scenarios, their application is quite simple. Most of the companies, like us, they have their own frameworks to speed up the development process. So for the software development companies, for custom software development companies, it's quite easy and fast. The middle functionality, let's say, when you have some small trainings, some small scenarios, and very simple configurators, where you can set up your room, when you set up your colors of your room, the objects in your room, and maybe run some of animations of the characters, I would say they will cost more than 10K of dollars. And extended functionality. So every custom platforms, every extended functionality, every extended visualization and large training with a lot of scenarios. Scenarios could have a large list of steps to reproduce. All the steps could be created from the different editors. The editors could provide an ability to stop any kind of equipment, and everything this could be connected to a backend server with recording everything. So this functionality, this approach, these solutions cost more than $100K. Yes, so I hope for the prices, that's it from our side, and we can provide you useful links, but maybe David can provide you these links after the webinar. But
yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. We hope that you got everything you wanted to get from the webinar. I hope you really got some information about the market size, about what's trendy, and I hope Denis explained to you what the technology is, what the technology stack is, and how to use it, and what are the best solutions. Also, we hope that we've given you enough information about the use cases, and, well, cheers.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And make sure you have any questions, and feel free to ask them. We have 5 minutes to answer your questions.
David? Those attending present. Yeah.
I think yes. Is this how you do it? Yeah. Oh, all right. This is how we do it. Unfortunately.
Yes.
And we have to close it somehow.
Yeah. Yes, David, do you have some questions maybe from the chat or from our audience?
I think they didn't see anything at all because of the poll.
Mm. Muted. David? Yeah.
Last question.
Let's start to open it. Сейчас, да? Надо было прогрузить просто еще.